Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are at the Bristol Motor Speedway with the Leave the Pack iRacing League Street Stock Showdown for race number 10 of their season. Qualifying is underway right now for these drivers. Adam Fulford coming around. Thought about taking the green flag there. Did not like the run he had out of the corner. He'll lock it down and try again. Connor Knowlton in the 2 machine had a good run last week until everything went south. Got a little bit sideways out front, and that did it for his run. Ended up somewhere outside of the top 10, I do believe. Qualifies in the 4th spot as of right this moment. Brandon Elvis, quick time in the number 4 machine. Drivers beginning to complete those qualifying laps. We have 16 cars on hand. As Smith comes around, he'll take the green flag. Lap 1, they have been going to the top, just trying to get all that momentum wound up at the top of the racetrack as Smith cuts it to the bottom there through 3 and 4. His first lap time, he'll go 8th quick with a 16:47. Through turns 3 and 4 the second time around for Chris Smith. Comes across the stripe. He'll take the checkered flag. Put him 6th quick in the 80 machine. Christian Peterson in the 23. Working his final lap time here. White flag. Didn't get a first lap time. Not sure what happened there. Out of 4, a little bit off the bottom. We'll see what that does to his lap time. Ooh, quick time for Christian Peterson. Maybe not off the bottom, as he'll go to the top spot. Dylan Connor goes 2nd. Cortland Herman here, the final lap in qualifying. This will set the stage for tonight. Comes across the stripe. Checkered flag is out. And Cortland Herman will bump up to the 13th spot. So that's going to do it for qualifying. 16 drivers have completed their qualifying runs. And we are ready to go here at Bristol. It's going to be a fun 50-lap race. The caution laps don't count. And we'll look at the track here tonight. You see the track map a little bit odd, a little bit of an odd shape. Everybody thinks Bristol's perfectly symmetrical, just an easy high bank. No, there's some character to this track, especially with the progressive banking. We're going to see a lot of side-by-side action here tonight. It's going to be very difficult to complete that pass, so should be a fun one. We're going to have an invert of 4. These drivers are going to have a slight warm-up session to complete, and then they'll get underway. We'll look at the schedule coming into tonight's race. You can see right there, 50 to win. We did bump it down to 30 because we didn't get the full field of 24 cars it was desired, but these guys still going after some extra cash here this evening. 50 laps. The next week, 75 at Lanier, and the following week, we're going to finish off the season at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, one of my favorite tracks here in iRacing, one of the funner tracks here in the street stocks. You can really slide around and have a lot of fun over the bumps, so that's going to be a fun one here in just a couple weeks to wrap up our season. And speaking of wrapping up our season, we'll look at the points now. As Dylan Connor is still sitting atop of the points. This race, we will see the drop weeks start to become in effect. So your best 10 races out of the 12 race season will count towards the championship. Brandon Elvis and Dylan Connor very close. You can see Elvis a little bit more points in the race, but those bonus points have really been doing a number for Dylan Connor. Both of those drivers picking up a couple extra here tonight. But the theme has been consistency all season long. As we get our warm-up session underway. We'll look at our qualifying results. Get them up on screen for you guys. Christian Peterson on the pole, quick time, 16.191 was his fastest lap there. Dylan Connor, about 3/100ths off in the 91. A pretty close field, only a 1/10 of a second throughout the top 10, so these drivers are going to be close, and it's going to be a matter of who can keep the tires on at the latest. I'm sure we're going to hear that when we talk to our drivers. But the invert here tonight going to be a 4. So how about the 75 machine of Jeremiah Woods Jr.? If you saw on Facebook, you saw that he waved the green flag for the Summer Sizzler a couple days ago, representing the WD Broadcasting Network in that shirt. So that was pretty cool of him. Pretty cool for the Leave the Pack iRacing League to kind of get out there into the real world. We'll see what Jeremiah Woods can do here tonight back on iRacing. Going to be rolling off from the top spot, and he's going to have a good view for the start of this 50-lap feature. Everybody getting their final preparations in here in the warm-up. We have 16 cars on hand here tonight. Still some good points battles a little bit further out throughout the top 5. Easton Swain and Zach Murphy have been very close for that 4th spot. Adam Fulford in that fight as well, all around a similar number in points. And with the gap in positions in these races, 1 or 2 positions can really do a number on your points that night. So every spot matters. These guys know that all season long. And things have been heating up. Last week at Hickory, saw a couple more cautions than we've been used to. The previous week at Stafford didn't see a single caution. Went 50 laps green there, and then last week at Hickory, let me fact check myself here, ended up having 8 cautions throughout that 75-lap event. Christian Peterson walked away with his first victory in the Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown. That's getting harder to harder every time, or harder and harder to say every time I say it throughout the season. As these drivers get the checkered flag, and it is now going to be time to send them off for 50 laps of feature racing action. The sun peaks down just a little bit. The pace car makes his way to the starting grid, and your drivers hop down one by one, get into the seat, get ready to go for 50 laps here at the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. The first time we've taken a trip to Bristol in the Street Stock Showdown. So it'll be exciting to see who walks away victorious. Brandon Elvis in the number 4 machine, the winningest driver in Street Stock Showdown competition with 8 victories, but none of those have been this season. The 4 machine still sitting winless after the first 9 races in Season 3. We'll see if he can find victory lane here soon. So we head down track side next to the number 75 machine here. We'll take a look at tonight's starting grid. On the pole, it's going to be the number 75 machine of Jeremiah Woods in the top spot. To his outside, it'll be the second place driver in points right now, Brandon Elvis, the 2-time champion, starting outside front row. Dylan Connor, your current points leader in the 91, going to roll off from the 3rd spot here tonight. And last week's winner and fast qualifier here tonight, Christian Peterson, going to roll off from the 4th position after the redraw. John Lyday in the number 22 machine, going to roll off 5th here tonight, and he'll have the 00 of Matt Borndren starting 6th to his outside. Trey Ashworth making his return to the Street Stock Showdown. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Going to start from the 7th spot here this evening. And he'll have Chris Smith in the 80 machine to his outside. Inside of row number 5, it's going to be Adam Fulford in the 71. And he'll have his Race Room 3 teammate, Zach Murphy, to his outside, rounding out the top 10 in the 29. Connor Knowlton in the number 2 machine here tonight. Missed a little bit in qualifying. Going to roll off 11th. He'll start next to Anthony Ankello in the 79 in the 12th spot. And back behind them, it's going to be Cortland Herman on the inside of row number 7. He'll have Easton Swain in the 33 to his outside in the 14th spot. Then Brandon Kelly and Caleb Thompson are going to bring up shotgun on the field in row number 8. So we're going to have 16 cars leading us to the green for 50 laps of action here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Put your pick down in the chat below, and we are ready to go racing. The pace car makes his way to the bottom side of the racetrack. The green is up and the green is out. We're underway here at Bristol. Down into turns 1 and 2. Everybody through the high banks for the first time. And it's going to be Jeremiah Woods leading down the back straightaway. He'll take the top spot early on through turns 3 and 4. Everybody trying to get sorted out early. Here comes Brandon Elvis, wasting no time. Looking back to the bottom, he'll peak for second underneath Dylan Connor. A little bit further back through the field, John Lyday in the 22 underneath Matt Borndren. But up front, it's Jeremiah Woods coming back around to lead. Lap number 2, Dylan Connor hangs on for second. Three laps in, Jeremiah Woods on the bottom lane. The 91 machine of Connor working up a little bit, trying to drive that car down the hill up off the corner. You can see a little bit different of a line that he's running compared to your race leader right now. Look back behind them, Trey Ashworth in the number 8 machine, fighting with Matt Borndren and Adam Fulford back behind him. But we've got a 3-car breakaway up front, and here comes Dylan Connor to the inside. The 91 trying to take the lead here early on, 5 laps in. Dead even at the line. Woods has it by a nose. But through the center of the corner, here comes Dylan Connor trying to spoil the party here early. Woods on the top side trying to pull close, and you can see when they get side by side, that brings Brandon Elvis a little bit closer. Woods in the 75 a little bit sideways out of 2. Somehow hangs on to that race car, but he loses a ton of ground. Back into the clutches of Christian Peterson in the 3rd spot. But now up front for the race lead, here comes Brandon Elvis to the bottom. Elvis to the bottom side, Dylan Connor up top. Battle for the top spot here. Elvis on the inside lane. He's able to peek ahead in the corners, but you see the run the 91 gets up on that outside lane. Just getting good runs through the corner, and as these two get side by side, looking back behind them, you can see Jeremiah Woods in the 75 machine starting to close up there. And he had lost a ton of ground when he got sideways. So 10 laps in, 40 laps to go. We've been clean and green from the get-go. Matt Borndren did have an incident in the 00 machine. Not quite sure what happened there. Still battling for the lead up front is Brandon Elvis on that inside lane. You can tell it's very tough to complete the pass. I thought it was going to be, but man, that inside lane just does not have very much right now. As they head down into turns 1 and 2. You can see Jeremiah Woods really starting to creep closer there in the 75. Still side by side for the top spot. A little bit of contact there off the corner. Elvis came up off the bottom a little bit early. Started leaning on him a little bit. And Easton Swain stopped on the front straightaway. Connor Knowlton, I think, may be involved as well. Cortland Herman with some damage, pulling at pit side. Not sure why the caution didn't come out. But a couple of cars collected early on. Tough break. They're going to lose several laps. It's going to be hard for them to get it back. As the 4 of Elvis pulls alongside through the center of the corner, up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes Jeremiah Woods in the 75, right there on the back bumper. And you can see the 4 cars starting to use up more racetrack coming up off the corner, but the 91 says, that's fine. I'll just run it up right by the wall and get the big run off, and that's what he's doing. Just keeping that machine out front. Elvis up the racetrack big time that time, and there goes the 91 up into the wall. You knew at some point the patience was going to start to run a little bit thin for Brandon Elvis. And now that puts Jeremiah Woods back into the second spot. He'll try to get settled back in and charge for the race lead. "20 laps in when they come back around this time by. It'll be 30 laps to go. We're getting close to that halfway point. And so far, it has been mostly Dylan Connor in that 91 after he got around Jeremiah Woods. But now Brandon Elvis showing the way, trying to pick up his first victory of the season. And this would be great for the points championship that he is trying to win, trying to make it 3 in a row. And so far this season, Dylan Connor has just been one step ahead. One step ahead every week. But tonight, the 4 machine showing a little bit more promise. Out front right now, just shy of the halfway point. Your top 9 all in a bunch right here. Zach Murphy a little bit back in the 29. And things will start heating up here. One of these guys will step out of line once the tires get a little bit more heat in them, maybe. But right now, Elvis showing the way. Woods in the 75, probably saying, I don't want to go just yet. But it's going to be very tough to complete that pass on the bottom. As this time around, Brandon Elvis going to come back to halfway in, halfway home. The cross flag's up in the air. You can see the battle for the lead there, all right in a blanket. Woods looking to the bottom here. That's going to allow Dylan Connor to peek his nose to the outside. Battle for the second spot. And as I say that, when one car steps out of line, everybody kind of starts to peek their nose out a little bit. They're all so far bunched up. Going on board with the 91 of Dylan Connor right here, just seeing what he sees. This, man, such a fast racetrack for these little street stocks. You can see how just quick that lap right there was. Here comes Jeremiah Woods to the bottom. He's got a better run in there this time. He might be able to keep it down the back straightaway. We'll see what he's got down into turn 3. Woods in the 75, trying to make the inside lane work. He's pulling alongside the 4 of Brandon Elvis. Meanwhile, the Dylan Connor machine sitting right there, just waiting for an opportunity to go. We've got 5 cars under a blanket with 20 laps to go here at Bristol. 20 to go at the high banks. Here comes Jeremiah Woods pulling alongside the 4 machine. That bottom is looking a little bit more racy here later in the running. Now 19 to go. Woods just not able to complete that pass on the bottom. He can get alongside in the center, but you see the run that the 91 gets on the top. You gotta wonder how Brandon Elvis is gonna get past here this late in the race. 18 to go. These guys have had a lot of laps on their tires. We have not seen the caution flag just yet. But man, they are all so close right there. Under a blanket for the top spot. A little bit of contact. Elvis down the racetrack. And oh, Dylan Connor gets turned. Into the wall they go. And there is the caution flag. You knew that once it happened, it was going to be big. several contenders involved. Dylan Connor in the 91, your points leader, was collected. Let's check out what happened one more time. It looked like they all just kind of checked up when the 75 made contact there. It looked like the 22 and 91 just made contact, and that is what started that initial scuffle right there. Try to go on board with the 22 of John Lyday. And just absolutely nothing he could really have done differently. I mean, middle of the straightaway, trying to get that car into the next position. The momentum is so important here. Just look at this one more time. Down the front straightaway, the 91 gets turned up the wall. And tough break for Adam Fulford and Chris Smith. They got a little bit more after the fact. So a couple of cars down pit road. Caution laps don't count, so this time that they're on pit road isn't going to hurt them too bad, but definitely not what a lot of these drivers wanted to see. Adam Fulford, Zach Murphy still down pit road. Caleb Thompson down pit road as well. All right, and as we come back this time by, you see the lights drop on the iRacing.com pace car, meaning we are going to go back green flag racing. Elvis chooses the bottom here, and that will work good as long as he gets a good start. But if that 75 machine is able to keep that car up top, it might be trouble for the 4 machine of Brandon Elvis. So we're going to have to find out here as they work their way into turns 3 and 4. The pace car is off. And we go through the restart zone. Good jump there for the 4 machine of Brandon Elvis. And we're back underway here with 16 laps to go at Bristol. 16 laps to go here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And here comes Christian Peterson. Thought about looking at the bottom. They're 3 wide for second. They're still thinking about 3 wide. How about Jeremiah Woods shooting across the racetrack? He wants the second spot back. Christian Peterson in the 23 up on the outside lane. This is exactly what Brandon Elvis wants to see in his rearview mirror. 14 laps to go this time. 14 to go for Brandon Elvis. Look at the 23 machine of Christian Peterson, the run that he has through the center of the corner. All over the back bumper, looks on the high side this time. Does he have a run through the center? Takes a peek to the inside. Here comes Peterson. Peterson looking low. Nothing going to come from that run that time. He's got Jeremiah Woods looking to the outside now. Woods in the 75, going to have to cross over, move back to the bottom. And what a race we are seeing here at Bristol. This time by 11 laps to go for Brandon Elvis, trying to hang on for win number 1 this season. One more time. Here comes Christian Peterson to the inside. He's going to try to take over that top spot. Elvis a little bit loose up top. What kind of run can Peterson build up here? He's going to have to keep that momentum wound up. And Elvis is into the wall. Elvis up into the outside wall. Here comes Peterson in the 23. Can he get clear? 9 laps to go. 9 laps to go for Christian Peterson, new leader here. But can he clear the 4 of Brandon Elvis? Elvis trying everything he can on that outside lane. Look at the 75 of Woods way up top, and looks like clear is Christian Peterson, new leader with 8 to go. 8 laps to go, new leader. Here comes Jeremiah Woods for second, hanging it out on the top side. 7 laps to go this time. Can Christian Peterson try and run away and seal the deal? Down the back straightaway they go. Chris Smith and John Lyday battle for the 5th spot. Back behind, Dylan Connor and Zach Murphy still trying to sort things out. Oh, there's contact there. We still have battling all over the racetrack. And what does Jeremiah Woods have left for Christian Peterson? 5 laps to go. 5 to go this time for the 23. Trying to make it back to back. He won last week at Hickory. Trying to pick up win number 2. Jeremiah Woods in the 2nd spot right now, trying everything he can to track down the 23 of Christian Peterson. But does he have anything left? It'll be 3 laps to go this time around. 3 to go for Christian Peterson. John Lyday and Trey Ashworth side by side for the 4th spot here. 22 machine going to get by on the bottom. Here comes the 8 to try to cross back over. Popsicle stakes up in the air this time. 2 to go for Christian Peterson. He qualified on pole earlier this evening. Started in the 4th spot. He bided his time, and late after that restart, he charged to the front, and now he sees the white flag. Final time through turns 1 and 2 for Christian Peterson. It's the biggest lead we've seen this entire race long. And through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, it's going to be Christian Peterson winning at Bristol. Christian Peterson hangs on and takes the victory. His 2nd straight in Leave the Pack. His 2nd ever in Leave the Pack. He's won 2 in a row. And wow, what a couple of weeks for the 23 machine of Christian Peterson. He's going to pick up $30. And let's grab a word from our top 3 finishers, starting with Brandon Elvis in the number 4 machine. See if we can't grab Brandon. Brandon Elvis up into the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey, man.
Alrighty, well, that was a fun race. Up front, you and Dylan Connor battled for a long time. You ended up getting the lead from him and thought you might have had the deal sealed there. The caution flag ended up flying, kind of reset things a little bit. And, man, that 23 machine just had something figured out there at the end. Maybe saved a little bit of something. I saw you got into the wall and made it a little bit easier on him, but, man, he was on a rail.
Yeah, I think I probably could have held him down there if I didn't hit the wall right there and I knocked a toe out or something. It became wicked after that. It was backing into the corners. Just steering was all kind of jacked up there the last, 5, 6, 7 laps. And that sucks. That's the way it goes sometimes. I guess we led the ones that didn't matter. Just didn't lead the important ones at the end. So we'll regroup. Maybe we'll get a win before the season's over with.
Yeah, we've got 2 races left for you to find victory lane, and tonight was a good night because you ended up in the 3rd spot. The guy you were fighting for a points championship ended up in the 11th spot, so you might gain just a little bit here tonight. This is going to be our first look at what the drop weeks are going to look like, factored in. Now that we've had 10 whole races, we're going to see what those drops look like, so where do you think you'll stand going into these final 2 races? What's the pressure going to look like? Are you going to have to win out? Or are you going to have to get top 3s? What's it going to be?
No, I think I really, realistically, I think I need to win one of the last two races there. Did the calculations a little while back, and I think I should be a little ahead of them with the drops. So still gotta win one. I mean, it'd be hard pressed to pull a Daniel Hemrick, but I like to at least win one race here.
Yeah, well, we've got two more chances. You've had speed these past couple races, and the luck was almost there here tonight. Just ran out there towards those final couple laps, but a great run for the 4 machine. Who do you have to thank for a top 3 run at the High Banks?
Yeah, just Coleman Design, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Burial's Performance Fab, my wife for allowing me to do this. My parents, shout out to them. I know they're watching. Shout out to Chris's dad, Mr. Dennis. I know he's watching, cheering us on. So, thanks for you putting a broadcast on, and man, hopefully I can talk to you last at the end of the night soon.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can wrap up the stream with me one of these times. We got 2 more races left this season, and if not this season, it might be a little bit of a while. I might have to do some hosted races for you to give you an opportunity up in the booth, but still a good run for you here, Brandon. Congratulations to you on your 3rd place finish.
All right, thanks, Winston.
Yes, sir. All right, now to talk to the man who was so close. Actually got to talk to this guy a couple nights ago at the New Paris Speedway, so that was a fun time, but so close here tonight. 2nd spot. Jeremiah Woods up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty. Well, we talked a couple days ago. He said you were excited for this race, and man, it really showed. You got the invert perfectly, led a couple laps out front in the beginning, and car really came alive after that final restart. You were still up in that 3rd spot, but got around Brandon and thought maybe you had something for Christian Peterson there, but just the laps ran out and ended up in the 2nd spot. But how do you feel after 50 laps at Bristol?
Oh, I'm pumped. Come out and race against these guys every week, and they make me look like a rookie. So it kind of felt good to hang with them and run up front and get a good finish.
Yeah, it's always good to run good with this group of guys. It's a very competitive group. I showed the qualifying times. Only a 10th through the top 10. So if you mess up just a little bit, you're going to be towards the back. So it's a very consistent group of guys. They're going to put pressure on you all week. So it's always good to have a good run with the Street Stock Showdown. 2nd place spot here tonight. Led a couple laps. Who do you have to thank for the run that you had?
Oh, the wife and kids for sure. They're all sitting here in the living room watching me right now. And you for all the work and time you put into this and getting this group of guys together so we can all have somewhere to go have fun on Monday night.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun this season. We've got 2 more races left this season, and then we're going to take a little break for the fall, get those big 3-day weekends out of the way for the racing season, and then we're going to be back for winter. I think we're going to do supers, and I know you're going to be excited about that. I'm very excited about that. But congratulations to you, Jeremiah, on your 2nd place run here tonight. We have 2 races left, like I mentioned. Lanier next week and Nashville after that. Do you think you have a shot at a 2nd place spot again, or maybe 1 spot better victory lane?
Yes, super excited about the super late models, but Lanier would probably be my best shot. The exit at turn 2 in Nashville is not my friend.
Yeah, the bumps at Nashville tend to get a little bit treacherous, especially out of turn 2. That place is very tough to get around. These street stocks make it a little bit more fun too. But nonetheless, great run for you here in the 75 machine. It was good to talk to you Monday as well. So Friday. Gosh, can't get my days right. Friday. It was great to talk to you. Thanks for wearing the shirt. But congratulations to you one more time, Jeremiah, and we wish you luck in these final 2 races.
Thanks, Winston.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, and now to talk to the man of the hour for the 2nd week in a row. Picks up the victory up into the broadcast booth. Last week before the race, Christian, you were winless in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. Talking to you right now, you are a 2-time winner in the Street Stock Showdown. How does it feel to go back-to-back here and pick up the victory at the High Banks of Bristol?
Feels good. Feels really good. That was a fun race with Elvis and Jeremiah there. Just wanted to get it done. We got like 4 in a row now for Skyline, so pretty pumped about that. Bristol is one of my favorite tracks, so it was a good time.
Yeah, 4 in a row for Skyline. You mentioned that. You and Atkinson were 1-2 last week. I think you might have been second in one of his victories, or at least third right there. You guys have been top notch in this series, and it's a competitive group of guys. So you guys have got something figured out in these street stocks, and it showed here tonight. Kind of hung back during that beginning run, didn't show everything you had. And then when that caution came out, kind of re-racked, restacked everybody. You came to life in that 23 machine and made some moves work on that inside lane that I didn't think we were going to see. So it was a good run, all in all. Who do you have to thank for 2 wins in a row with Street Stock Showdown?
Yeah, no, it was good. I definitely was saving at the beginning. I wasn't sure if the race was going to go green. If everybody kind of just used their heads, I thought it might, and it did. So just kind of just bided my time there, and then I don't know I think if it stayed green without the tires cooling down and having Dylan there and Lide get into an accident, it might have ended a little different just because there would have been a lot more cars to pass, and on the bottom it would have been tough. But yeah, just bide my time. I was able to go flat out there like the last 20 laps, so it was fun. And just got to thank everybody at Skyline. We got last week was a 1-2-3. We had me, BA or Atkinson, and then Lide. So got another win this week. So thanks to all those guys. Thanks to you, Winston, for putting the show on. Everybody who shows up to race, and for a good clean race tonight.
Yeah, it was a good, clean race. We had a couple incidents out back I got to go look at later on that we didn't see on the see live exactly what happened, but it was a good, clean race tonight. A good change from what we saw last week at Hickory. It kind of got a little bit out of hand, but that's going to happen on the short tracks. Speaking of shorter tracks, next week we go to Lanier, the final little bull ring style track we've got on our schedule this season, and winning 2 races in the Street Stock Showdown. You know what that means, Christian? You're going to be starting from the rear next week at Lanier. We've got 75 laps. How are you feeling about your chances?
Well, Lanier's real wide, so it's good for, I don't know, bunch of 4 wide stuff, so maybe we'll make some crazy moves. I don't know, it should be a good race. Excited for that. Yeah, we'll start at the back and see where it takes us.
Alrighty, well, it sounds like you've got a game plan at least going into next week, but it's going to be fun watching you drive from the rear of the field in 75 laps at Lanier. But great run for you here tonight, Christian. Congratulations to you one more time, and we wish you luck in these final 2 races.
Thank you, Winston. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. You too. Alrighty, folks. That was your winner here tonight, Christian Peterson. We'll look at the results one more time. The finishing results up on screen for you guys. Winner in the number 23 for the second week in a row. It's Christian Peterson. Jeremiah Woods Jr. comes home in the 2nd spot. Brandon Elvis 3rd. John Lide 4th. Chris Smith 5th in the number 80 machine. Trey Ashworth comes home 6th. Zach Murphy 7th. Brandon Kelly 8th. Anthony Ankello 9th. Caleb Thompson rounds out the top 10. Dylan Connor's final car on the lead lap in the 11th spot. Tough break for Adam Fulford, 17 laps down in 12th. Cortland Herman 37 laps down in 13th. Connor Knowlton also 37 laps down. And Easton Swain 37 laps down as well. So tough break for those drivers. All kind of fell out at the same point in time, but it was a good race all in all here at Bristol. Those guys had a fun race up top for those front couple positions. I know that for sure. But thank you guys for watching the WD Broadcasting Network. I am your host, Winston Deal, thanking you guys for 1,000 followers on Facebook. If you haven't already, follow us over there on Facebook. Follow on Instagram as well, and TikTok. We've got all 3. But if you haven't on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button for more iRacing content. That's going to do it for us here tonight. We'll see you guys next week at Lanier. But until then, y'all take it easy. I am your host, Winston Deal, one more time, signing it off from Bristol. Peace out.